Later on Look North.
Why Yorkshire's cricketers are riding high. With half the season over, they're sitting on top of the county championship.
There's a warning that doctors' surgeries may be forced to close in rural parts of North Yorkshire and the Peak District because of a reduction in funding. At the moment, doctors' surgeries are paid per patient. Those which operate in rural areas with small populations are topped up with a government grant. But that money's about to be withdrawn. Olivia Richwald reports.
Dr Pam West covers 800 square miles in her work as a GP in the Yorkshire Dales. Today she's making a house call. The nearest hospital is more than an hour away. The practice in Hawes is paid per patient, but it gets an extra £78,000 a year in a government grant. That's 20% of its budget.
Without that money, we would have to close one of our 2 surgeries. This would mean making all the staff at that surgery redundant, leaving all the patients who go to that surgery without medical cover. My concern is that when I come to retire and I need my rural GP, there will not be a practice there to look after me.
GPs in North Yorkshire say this county is being disproportionately penalised. They say the doctors here offer their patients more services than their urban counterparts, and quite simply it costs more to be a doctor in the countryside. They're very worried that if this grant is withdrawn, some GP practices may even have to close.
So it's been discharged, yes it is, so it's been discharging from the end. OK, and it's quite swollen, isn't it?
Dr John Crompton has worked in Boroughbridge for 20 years. Lots of his patients live in rural villages.
My practice is not a small practice, it's a relatively big practice within a market town, but we'll lose about 10% of our staff income. So 10% of the income that we employ our staff, including our salaried doctors, our nurses, our receptionists, will go over that period of time. And for smaller practices in more rural areas than that, it has an even bigger impact.
NHS England says the changes will make funding much fairer and the money will be redistributed slowly over the next 7 years. But in this region, the Peak District and North York Moors could also be affected by funding cuts. And a campaign in the countryside is now being mounted. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, North Yorkshire.